When you wake up in the morning and notice your body doesn't feel as strong as it once did, it can be unsettling. Maybe your grip isn't what it used to be, maybe climbing the stairs feels heavier, or maybe your confidence in the bedroom isn't what it once was. These little changes might seem small at first, but together they can feel like aging is robbing you of something deeply personal, your strength, your vitality, and yes, even your manhood. I once sat across from a gentleman named Harold, a retired engineer in his late 60s. He told me with a half smile, half grimace, "Doc, I don't recognize myself anymore. I used to be the one who could lift anything, fix anything, keep up with my wife in every way. Now, I feel like I'm shrinking into the shadows of who I used to be." His words stayed with me, because Harold's story isn't just Harold's, it's the story of so many men after 60. My name is Dr. Nolan Easton. For over 30 years, I've dedicated my work to helping men navigate the unique challenges that come with aging. I've seen firsthand how discouraging it can feel when time seems to strip away the very qualities that once defined your sense of masculinity and strength. But I've also seen something else. Men who learn how to push back, who discover that aging doesn't have to steal these things if they know how to fight smart, not just hard. And that's exactly what I want to share with you today in this video. How to stop aging from stealing your strength and manhood. This isn't about miracle pills or quick fixes. It's about understanding the changes happening inside your body and learning practical ways to take back control so that you can wake up every day feeling like yourself again. Harold's story, like many of yours, began with fatigue. He told me he just didn't have the same drive to get up and do things. His muscles seemed weaker, and when he looked in the mirror, the man staring back wasn't the strong, confident husband and father he remembered. And yet, as we began working together, he discovered something powerful. While aging does bring natural changes to your muscles, hormones, and energy, there are also simple, science-backed steps that can restore vitality. It's not about being 25 again, it's about being the best version of 65, 70, or even 80. Now, before I go deeper, let me pause for just a moment. If you're watching right now and you felt that same frustration that your body is slowly betraying you, then I want you to do something. Tap that like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on the advice I share. And please let me know in the comments below, does this message resonate with you? Just a simple yes or no. I do read those, and your answers guide me to give you the help you need most. So let's return to Harold. As we worked together, we discovered that the loss of strength wasn't just about weaker muscles. It was tied to something deeper. You see, as men age, testosterone naturally declines, and with it comes a subtle but significant drop in muscle mass, energy, and sexual performance. It doesn't happen overnight, but slowly, like water eroding a stone, it begins to change how you feel about yourself. And when your body changes, your confidence follows. But here's the good news. Just because testosterone dips doesn't mean your strength and manhood are gone for good. The body responds remarkably well to small, consistent changes. For Harold, it started with nutrition, making sure he was eating the right balance of protein, healthy fats, and vegetables to fuel muscle repair and hormone balance. Then, gentle resistance exercises. At first, he doubted whether lifting light weights or using resistance bands could make a difference. But within weeks, his posture improved, his arms felt firmer, and his wife even commented that he seemed more confident. What's fascinating is that as Harold regained physical strength, his mood lifted too. He carried himself differently, spoke with more energy, and yes, he told me with a sheepish grin that his intimacy with his wife had started to return. That's when I realized again what I've known for decades. Men don't just want to live longer, they want to live stronger. They want to wake up and feel capable, confident, and connected to the part of themselves that makes them feel like men. So if you're sitting at home thinking, maybe it's too late for me, I want to assure you it's not. The body at 60, 70, even 80 is more adaptable than most men believe. Muscles can be strengthened, energy can be revived, and intimacy can be restored. Aging is a challenge, yes, but it's not a sentence. Harold's story is proof of that. He didn't transform overnight, and there were no shortcuts. But by understanding what was really going on inside his body and committing to small daily steps, he reclaimed something priceless. He told me one day, "Doc, I feel like I've come home to myself." That's the kind of transformation I want for every man watching this video. And here's why I'm sharing this so passionately with you. I don't want you to wake up 5 years from now wishing you had acted sooner. I don't want you to accept weakness, fatigue, and loss of manhood as your new normal. There are things you can do right now, starting today, that can help you stop aging from stealing the best parts of yourself. So as we continue in this conversation, I want you to keep Harold's journey in mind. His story could be yours. Strength and manhood aren't relics of the past, they're qualities you can still hold on to if you're willing to give your body the care it's asking for.
When Harold first came to me, he thought his struggles were a personal failure. He blamed himself for not exercising enough, for eating the wrong foods, for somehow letting his body slip away from him. But the truth was far more important for him to understand, and for you to understand too. What was happening inside Harold's body wasn't just the result of lifestyle. It was the natural shift that every man faces as the years go by. After 60, your body changes in ways that are easy to overlook, but deeply impactful. Muscles that once grew quickly now shrink unless they're deliberately maintained. Bones that once felt unbreakable can become fragile. Hormones that once surged through your veins begin to taper off quietly, affecting not only strength and energy, but your confidence and desire as well. These changes are real, but they don't mean you're powerless. They mean you need a new strategy, one designed for the season of life you're in right now. I remember sitting with Harold and showing him something simple. I asked him to squeeze my hand as hard as he could. His grip was weaker than he expected. Then I explained, this is not just about strength. Grip strength is one of the clearest indicators of overall vitality in older men. The look on his face said it all. He realized that the small frustrations he felt were connected to something much bigger. And that's when we began rebuilding, piece by piece. I told him, Harold, think of your body as a house. Over the years, the foundation may shift, the paint may peel, and the roof may leak. But with the right care, that house can stand strong for decades more. Your strength and manhood work the same way. They need maintenance, reinforcement, and care to withstand the test of time. One of the first things we addressed was his daily routine. Like many retirees, Harold had settled into a slower pace. Long hours on the couch, afternoons with little movement, and meals that were more about convenience than nutrition. We began by changing just one thing: walking. At first, just 10 minutes a day. Then, as his stamina grew, 20 minutes. Before long, Harold found himself walking half an hour daily, sometimes with his wife, sometimes alone with his thoughts. That simple act did something profound. It woke up his muscles, boosted his circulation, and lifted his mood. I want to pause here and ask you something. When was the last time you moved your body in a way that made you feel alive? Not forced, not punishing, but life-giving. If this is resonating with you, let me know in the comments with a simple yes or no. I read them, and it helps me understand what struggles you're facing. And while you're at it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It ensures you'll never miss advice that can help you live stronger and feel more like yourself again. For Harold, movement was the spark, but it wasn't enough on its own. We also looked at his nutrition. Many men underestimate how powerfully food affects hormones and strength. Harold's breakfast, for instance, was often just toast and coffee. Not terrible, but not enough to fuel his body. Together, we swapped that for a protein-rich start, something as simple as eggs with vegetables or Greek yogurt with nuts. Over time, that steady supply of protein began to repair and build muscle tissue, helping Harold feel firmer and stronger. What fascinated Harold most was how these small changes rippled into every corner of his life. With more energy, he began helping around the house again, carrying groceries, fixing things, doing chores his wife had started to handle on her own. She told me later, "Doctor, it feels like I've got my husband back." And that is when Harold's confidence in the bedroom returned as well. Strength and manhood are deeply intertwined, and when one rises, the other follows. Now, some men might think, well, that works for Harold, but I'm too far gone. Let me tell you, that is never true. I've seen men in their 70s and even 80s reclaim muscle, energy, and intimacy they thought were lost forever. The body is remarkably forgiving when given the right tools. It doesn't need perfection, it just needs consistency. Harold's turning point came one evening when he was playing with his grandson. The little boy asked him to lift him up, something Harold had avoided for months because he felt too weak. This time, without hesitation, he scooped his grandson up, held him high, and laughed with joy. Later, he told me, "Doc, that was the moment I knew I was winning back my life." And that's why I want you to hear this. Reclaiming your strength and manhood isn't about vanity. It's not about pretending to be young again. It's about being able to show up fully for yourself, for your loved ones, and for the life you still have ahead of you. Whether it's walking your granddaughter down the aisle, dancing with your wife, or simply waking up without pain and fatigue, these are the victories worth fighting for. So as you listen, I want you to imagine what your own Harold moment might be. Maybe it's carrying your groceries without strain. Maybe it's feeling confident with your spouse again. Maybe it's looking in the mirror and seeing a man who feels strong and capable. Whatever it is, know that it's possible. Harold's story is proof, and I've seen it happen countless times with men just like you.
When Harold's life began to shift, it wasn't because he suddenly turned into an athlete or followed some extreme program. It was because he embraced a truth most men overlook. Strength and manhood aren't lost overnight, and they don't return overnight either. They're built back slowly, through small but powerful choices that compound over time. One of the biggest breakthroughs for Harold came when we started addressing rest and recovery. For years, he underestimated how critical sleep was to his strength, mood, and intimacy. He admitted to me, "Doc, I've been burning the candle at both ends for most of my life, and I figured I could just keep doing it." But as the years went on, that lack of deep rest left him feeling foggy, drained, and less like himself. I explained to Harold something many men don't realize. Your body repairs itself most during sleep. That's when muscles rebuild, hormones reset, and the mind clears. Without enough restorative rest, the body cannot perform no matter how much you exercise or how well you eat. So we made simple adjustments. We reduced late-night caffeine, we created a calming bedtime routine, and Harold began to protect his sleep like he once protected his work deadlines. Within weeks, his energy started to shift. This was a turning point for Harold's manhood, too. He began waking up with more vitality. His drive and desire, which he thought had been permanently muted, began flickering back to life. I often remind my patients, manhood isn't just physical, it's deeply tied to how rested, fueled, and confident you feel. The body and mind are partners, and when one falters, the other follows. At this stage, Harold had already regained a sense of strength and optimism, but he wanted to go further. So we focused on connection. I asked him, "When was the last time you really talked with your wife about how you were feeling?" He admitted that he hadn't. Like many men, Harold had carried his struggles in silence, embarrassed to admit he felt weaker, less capable, and less interested in intimacy. But when he finally shared with her, something beautiful happened. She didn't see him as less of a man, she saw him as more of one, because he trusted her with his truth. That conversation opened the door to a deeper bond, and from that bond came renewed closeness in every part of their marriage. If you're listening right now and nodding your head, maybe you felt that same silence, holding back your struggles because you don't want to burden your partner. If that's you, I want you to take this to heart. Strength is not pretending you're invincible. Strength is facing the truth and finding the courage to share it. And when you do, you'll often find your partner doesn't pull away. They lean in closer. Now, let me pause and connect with you directly. If this message is speaking to you, if you felt the way Harold did and want to reclaim your strength and manhood, I'd like you to do something. Click the like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell icon so you'll always know when I release a new video designed to help men just like you. And please drop a simple yes or no in the comments below. I read your answers because they guide me in giving you advice that really matters to your life. Returning to Harold, what impressed me most was how these changes began to ripple outward. His wife noticed, his children noticed, and even his friends commented that he seemed more alive. One evening, he told me, "Doc, I'm not just stronger. I feel like myself again. My wife smiles at me differently. My grandson looks at me like I'm his hero again. And I didn't think I'd ever get that back." That's the essence of what it means to stop aging from stealing your manhood. It's not about denying the years or chasing youth. It's about refusing to surrender the qualities that make life meaningful. Your body, your relationships, your confidence, your sense of being a man, they are all connected, and they can all be protected and restored. I've seen men who thought their best days were behind them light up again with energy, intimacy, and purpose. I've seen couples who had grown distant rediscover each other in tender and passionate ways. And I've seen grandfathers like Harold reclaim the ability to play, laugh, and fully engage with the ones they love. This is why I say to every man watching right now, don't let aging trick you into giving up. You are not done yet. You are not past your prime. There is still more strength in you, more love in you, and more life ahead of you than you might believe. But you have to choose to fight for it. Not with anger, not with denial, but with wisdom and care. When Harold lifted his grandson that day, it wasn't just about muscles. It was about legacy. It was about showing his family that he was still the man they could look up to. And it was about showing himself that the spark inside him was still burning bright. That's what I want for you, to feel that same spark and to know it's never too late to fan it back to flame. When Harold came back for his final check-in with me after months of steady effort, he looked like a different man. Not because he had turned back the clock or erased every wrinkle, but because he carried himself with strength and dignity again. His shoulders were straighter, his handshake was firm, and there was a quiet confidence in his voice. He said to me, "Doc, I thought aging meant losing myself piece by piece, but now I realize I can still be me, strong, capable, and close to the people I love." That's the message I want you to take to heart today. Aging is not the thief many believe it to be. Yes, it brings change, slower recovery, declining hormones, and challenges that test your patience. But it doesn't have to rob you of your strength or your manhood. Those qualities live inside you, waiting to be nurtured with the right choices, the right mindset, and the willingness to keep showing up for yourself. As Harold discovered, it's not about trying to be 25 again. It's about honoring who you are now while still protecting what makes life vibrant and fulfilling. A body that can move with ease, a mind that feels sharp and clear, and marriage or relationship that feels warm, close, and alive, and a sense of identity that reminds you every day you are still a man with purpose, with worth, and more to give. I've seen men lose hope because they believed weakness and decline were inevitable. But I've also seen men like Harold take the first step, whether it was a short walk, a healthier meal, or an honest conversation with their spouse. And from that single step, everything began to change. That is how you stop aging from stealing your strength and manhood, not with grand gestures, but with small, consistent choices that build you back up day after day. If this video has spoken to you, if Harold's story has stirred something inside, then I want you to do two things. First, tap the like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell icon so you'll always know when I release a new video designed to help men just like you. And please drop a simple yes or no in the comments below. I read your responses because they help me know what you need most from me. And remember, by commenting, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping other men who feel exactly like you, searching for answers and encouragement. Let me leave you with this. You are not powerless against time. You are not destined to fade away. Inside you still lives the boy who dreamed, the young man who built, the father who carried, and the partner who loved with passion. Those parts of you are not gone. They are waiting for you to call them back to life. And with each step you take, you remind yourself and everyone around you, aging may be strong, but you are stronger. So the next time you look in the mirror and wonder if you're losing yourself, remember Harold. Remember that you can reclaim what matters most: strength, manhood, confidence, connection. They are still yours to hold. And if you choose to fight wisely with care and consistency, they will remain yours for years to come. I'm Dr. Nolan Easton, and I want you to know you are not alone in this journey. Together, we can make these years not just longer, but fuller, richer, and stronger. Until next time, take care of your body, take care of your spirit, and never forget, the best of you is still right here, waiting to shine.